when I was just trying to gather, when I was just gathering everyone back in, I said, you've got to come in, it's shipping. And I said to some people like that, I know shipping's your favourite topic. Everyone's like, no, literally, I need to know about shipping because it's such a pain point. And our next speaker is Azad Hussain, the founder of Sprint Logistics. Many of you know Azad. Who knows Azad already? See?
A few people.
And Azad, I meant to be asking you some questions. I was actually just going to tell a quick story, which is how when we first spoke, Azad basically said to me, look, I'm just down the road. He comes on a call. He was eating his breakfast on this call, and I'm thinking, okay, hello. And he's like, I'm just down the road. I've got a huge fulfillment operation. Come and see it. People can come and see me. There's real power in being local. There's real power in having access. There's power in being able to talk to people. So it's with that in mind that we started working together.
There was a part 2 to that. Part 2 was that.
Part 2, okay.
Part 2 was that I built a piece of software. And
oh, yeah, this is it. He was going to sue me.
I built a piece of software called Bolt. So my warehouse management system is called Bolt, and I was like, that's my brand. It was Tash.
It was me. So he was
so
thinking about. But now we're not called Bolt anymore. We're called DTC Live.
No,
so Azad, tell everyone what you do and what Sprint Logistics does, and why. Just tell them that first, and then I want to tell them my experience of visiting you.
Yeah. So, in brief, we have a 3-word strapline. It's called making e-commerce flow. So if you think of anything to do with logistics, anything, really it's about making things flow. And we're like the plumbers. I always say we're like the plumbers. So hands up who calls their plumbers when things work, or their electrician when things work. You tend not to call them, right? We get the maximum. We're in the same world, but in the world of logistics. So if things are flowing quite well, that's our job. We don't hear much. But when things don't work, you hear a lot. So that can start with the first journey, i.e. a container stuck in a country of production, ending up in a port somewhere. It can end up in a warehouse, incorrectly labelled, incorrectly sorted. It can end up in the final shipping part of the thing. So starting from one part of the journey all the way to your end customer's experience, our job is to make that e-commerce flow. So that's what we do.
And it's nothing short of a nightmare. And I was very guilty until I went to visit Azad of just saying to brands, can you just sort out a shipping solution and then come back to us? Then I came to you and began to understand the complexity involved and how many intricate moving parts there are in moving boxes from A to B and back again. And even an operation like yours. Who's run an agency in here? I know there's some agency. So all agency operators know about resource management in terms of human capital, human hours, and deployment of those human hours. And in shipping, you do the same thing and also manage space. So it's an incredible 3D world of resource management.
That's always the first impression that people get when they come to any of our facilities, is just quite how much we manage to squeeze into warehouses.
But they are huge warehouses as well.
Yeah, but just how much we put in there is remarkable. Even people in our trade, logistics people, say, hey, Zad, you do put a lot of things in your warehouse. So we're very good at, our software helps us compress the amount of space we use very intelligently. So what we're trying to do is because we're operators, we're also building the tech around working experience. So between us, we have about 150 years of operating experience. And so I did look at third-party software myself. But really, about 10 years ago, I decided to build our own. It will make us do things faster and more efficient, more lean, and it is paying dividends.
But most people, when choosing a 3PL, wouldn't think, most brands, I don't think, would particularly think, oh, what's this 3PL software? What's tech are these using? Why does it make a difference from a brand point of view?
Well, I think it's their customer journey, Tash. I think, so for example, we have some electronics brands who they send out components, and each component has a serial number. Each serial number triggers a part of the warranty. And so you have to have software that can, from a simple scan, pick up multiple serial numbers on the outbound. And then if there's a return journey, I think earlier in the previous conversation, I heard about omnichannel. Omnichannel is interesting if you're running a warehouse, because you can start receiving things in your warehouse that never originated from your warehouse. So if you've got the right software linking into your client software, they'll return something. You your software now can talk to their software and say that thing A, B, C, D, E, F, G, although it didn't originate from your warehouse, it is actually still that client's product. It is under warranty, and so it belongs over here. So it's that kind of intricacy. That sounds like a very peculiar example, Tash, but if you think about the world is global, things get sold globally, therefore things can end up being bought in the UK that originally started from an order in France. That could be a consumer in the UK now returning it. You've got to have a pretty good operation to figure out, is that product genuine and is it actually still under warranty, which is what we've done, as an example.
Okay, and how do you, when brands are making a decision about how they're going to sort out logistics, what mistakes do you often see them making?
So if you think about the end goal in life, say Z, and work backwards, I would say the 5 things you should think of are good operational setup, good pricing, good culture, I would say close to the customer. So these are your kind of key points. Most people tend to focus on just one element. Rapidly they go towards price, but over time you get hidden charges, you get surprises. So you should kind of think about the overall model and think very hard about, as you scale, what kind of a setup do you want with your partner. So we work very hard on this. There's a boring document called a SOP, Standard Operating Procedure, and we work very hard with our customers to get those right. I mean, one example yesterday, we just signed up a company that's in the business of like food gifts, and they said that at the end of every month they want to do a food bank distribution. So that's in our SOP. So we'll do that free of charge. We'll get that food that's left over and get it into a food bank every month. So we have to agree parameters around that. That's an example. Okay,
and then also you work with brands across Amazon as well, so it's not just Shopify, it's all and B2B. Yes. Does that matter for a brand when they're choosing who they're going to be, who they're going to do the fulfillment with?
Yeah, because you don't want to end up with too much squirrel stock. You don't want to end up with too much stock in different places for different channels and different locations. That's a very difficult journey. It's basically your money tied up in terms of capital. So yeah, it's good. We're pretty much plugged into everyone, whether they're doing FBA, FBM, Prime, TikTok, Shopify, eBay, Groupon. Pretty much, if there's a channel out there, we find a way to integrate.
Amazing. And can everyone go on a little tour of Sprint Logistics near Heathrow?
Anytime, yeah. Big and small. Anytime.
I tell you what, it's a sight to behold if you haven't been in a...
Yeah, she thought it'd be simple, but she was quite...
I thought it'd be simple. I know, you find that amusing. I was blown away. I cannot believe it. I highly recommend if you're... Because you can see people in person there. Yeah. Go and see the scale. The other thing that really impressed me, which, again, you thought was because you've got so many articulated lorries. Yeah. And I was like, wow, this thing's operating scale. So I highly recommend if you want to, A, talk to AZ, you're going to be around, and B, book yourself a trip to... Hounslow, near Heathrow Airport?
Yes. That's the one here, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I live here, so it's quite good for me. Not too bad. We've got posh offices as well. No one ever thinks it's a fulfillment centre. They think some kind of law firm or investment bank. We're very nice offices. Anyway, but we've got pretty good scale. About 500,000 square feet now?
Yeah.
Across the UK and Europe? Yeah, so some good scale there. But we get a lot into our warehouses. So the one thing I'll tell you, when you walk into our facilities, you'll say, goodness, you can manage to fit a lot in here.
Brilliant. Well, you'll be around later for people who want to chat to you. Thank you so much, AZ. Thank you.